Morning, everybody. It is good to see you and a joy and a blessing to be with you all. My name is Richard Mirage. I'm the lead minister here, and so I would just like to welcome you all. Welcome.
And my name is Jimmy Scott, pastoral care minister here, and welcome on my behalf as well.
And I'm Reverend Tina Brown, spiritual education minister, and it's a blessing to be here and a blessing to see each of you here today.
You know, we in our ministry have a strong belief in the power of intention. And so that we have this service, we have two intentions for this service. And the first one is that you will have a deep and profound experience of God. That through the service, through the meditation, through the music, that we will create a space for you to open your heart and allow Spirit to touch you, to heal you, to uplift you, to transform you in a way that will open your heart to live life and to live it more abundantly, more joyfully, and more peacefully. And the second intention that we have is that you will feel a profound feeling of community and connection. I want you to know that every single one of you plays an important role in this service. Whether you're here for the first time or you've been here for years, every one of us plays an important role in creating the experience of God and the incredible energy. There's something magnificent about joining together. You know, when Jesus said, where two or more are gathered in my name, there I am in the midst of them, he's really talking that we multiply and magnify the power and the presence of Spirit when we join together. So I hope you can feel that incredible power and the energy and the connection of the feeling of community. So welcome, everyone.
So let's begin our service with our mission statement, which is Unity of
Phoenix is a loving spiritual community that welcomes all people and honors all paths to God. We are dedicated to transforming lives by inspiring and awakening individuals to discover God's Spirit within them.
So now's that time in our service for a time of prayer and meditation. So if you have your cell phones with you, I want to encourage you to place those either on silence or vibrate, and Rusty will lead us in our meditational song.
Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. I can feel the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
So now, if you would, just allow the words of that melody to take you to a quiet place. Make a conscious decision to slow your mind down and to be still for just a few moments. So as we begin this time together, I invite you to take a deep, cleansing, relaxing breath. Just get comfortable in your seat. Shut out any outer distractions. Temporarily set aside all of your cares and concerns. Just allow yourself to be open and receptive to that divine Spirit of God, of love, that enfolds us and surrounds us and dwells deep within us. There's a scripture that says, greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. Greater is the Spirit of God in you than anything in this external world. So whatever you are going through at this point in time, whatever you aspire to go through, I invite you to be mindful of that spirit within you. So one more deep, relaxing, cleansing breath. And then for the next few moments, just be still. And be quiet. Let go of any tension or tightness in the body. And just rest and relax. The Memorial Day holiday was created in order that we might remember all the people who have touched our lives in ways known and unknown. That we would be mindful of the people who have sacrificed and given their all to support the ideology of freedom and respect and peace. And so this holiday weekend, as we are mindful of all of those people, we give a special thanks. Thanks of gratitude for service, for interaction. We're grateful for family and friends, for this great nation within which we live and move and have our very being, for all that it stands for. We give thanks in the name and through the nature of the living Christ. And so it is. And amen.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our as we forgive our debtors. And leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Morning again, everyone. And a special shout out and welcome to everybody who watches us online. Thank you all for tuning in. Hey, anybody ever have wondered why we're here and what the purpose and meaning in life is all about? Anybody ever just wonder stuff like that? Or you ever try to figure out, how life works and how you could help it, have it make it work better for you? Anybody ever wonder about how it works? It reminds me of this astronomer that was on this extended lecture tour. And he had been giving his lecture so many times, he was just getting sick and tired of repeating the same talk over and over again. So as he was driving with his, trusted chauffeur, he was saying, you know what, I'm just kind of bored saying the same stuff over and over again. And his chauffeur said, well, I'm kind of bored just doing my same old driving all over the place. And he said, I got a great idea. Why don't we just trade places? And he said, what? He said, well, I've heard your talk so many times, I can give it from memory, and it'll give a change for you and a change for me. And the astronomer says, well, we're going to a different town where nobody knows me, so it's really not at risk. And I've got my talk totally written, so if you need it, it'll be there. So they exchange roles, they change clothes, and, the audience, it's just all packed and full, it's ready to talk, and the driver is dressed as the lecturer, the astronomer, and the astronomer is sitting in the back dressed as a chauffeur. So he delivers this incredible talk, absolutely flawless. It's incredibly genius. Incredible. And there's a standing ovation. They're all crazy about him, and he's enjoying just the energy of that. And then comes the question and answer period. And so kid in the front row says, who discovered Pluto? And he said, Clyde Tombaugh. And he remembered from an article he read somewhere. And then the kid follows up and said, well, who discovered Neptune? And he said, well, that was Johann Gottfried Galle. And he had done some research and was feeling really confident. And then someone off to the side and said, would you please comment on the relative merits of the pulsation instability model and the accretion disk instability model for the explanation of outbursts of cataclysmic variable stars? And so the speaker paused, and then he calmly said, I am surprised that you would bother to ask me such an easy and simple question. And to show you how simple and easy this question is, I will have my chauffeur answer it for you. See, we all want to know the answers. And we all would love to know how life really works. Today we start a 4-week series on Gary Zukav's book, The Seat of the Soul, which really explores some ideas about how life works, how things operate. How many people here have actually read the book, The Seat of the Soul? A fair number of people. The book is 25 years old. It's a 25th anniversary edition. I've never read it, so I've just read the first 4 chapters this week. But people just love this book, say how this book changed their lives. Oprah Winfrey said this book changed how she saw herself and how she viewed the world. This book offers some wonderful ideas and perspectives about how life works, about how we can see ourselves and view ourselves, and how we can see our interactions with others in a way that can bring more harmony and more fulfillment in all of the ways that we want it. And if I had to answer the question from reading the first 4 chapters, what is the meaning of life and why are we here, I would say that we are here to evolve, that we are here to heal, that we are here to know the wholeness and the fullness of our souls, the wholeness and fullness of God, the wholeness and fullness of love, the wholeness and fullness of life. And so the question for me is, so what stops us from experiencing that wholeness? What stops us from experiencing the fullness of our souls? And I think one of the main reasons is the fact that we live in this physical bodies and we experience life through our five senses. And there are some fabulous things for us to see and smell and taste and touch. I mean, it's incredible what we can experience through our senses. But even through our senses, it only gives us a limited amount of depth that we can experience the fullness of life. And because of the limited view of the senses, we have some limited perspectives in a lot of areas in our lives. One of them is with power. We think that to have a better life is to have more power, more control, whether it's more money, more fame, more success. We think that it'll make us happier. We think it'll make us more successful. We'll have more security if we have more power, more good, more material stuff, even more education. And unfortunately, that idea and that pursuit of power from that limited perspective makes us act in ways that are fearful because we're afraid we might lose that. And we think it's a competition. Any pursuit of power based on fear, competition, and insecurity, Gary Zukov says, will lead us to more pain. It won't lead us to more happiness and fulfillment. It'll lead to conflict. It'll even lead to some levels of destruction and violence. And another aspect that we have a limited view on is the idea of evolution. We think evolution is just about the physical evolution. And then we're involving medical breakthroughs, and life is so much more easy. We've evolved in so many ways and with technological things that can help us in so many ways. But again, that's a limited perspective of what we're here to evolve for. And so what we're really trying to evolve into and move into is to move away from just a five-sense awareness of life to a multi-sense awareness. To not just about external power and money, but to connect with authentic power. That we're not just here to evolve at the physical level and technological level, but we are here to have an evolution of consciousness. Our personalities and our bodies, represent that human part of us, but that part of us that experiences things on the sense level sometimes can feel alone in the universe. We can feel a level of fear and lack and jealousy, and we can strive to dominate, to try and bring peace and happiness to ourselves. That body and personality can sometimes think that our intentions don't have an impact on us and other people. There's that part of us that doesn't always feel whole and complete. But our soul is that part of us that feels a sense of completeness, a sense of wholeness, has an awareness that we live in a universe that's alive and responsive and supportive, that all of our intentions make a difference on us, that it not only impacts us physically, but well beyond the physical. The personality focuses on the material and the outer, where the soul focuses on the inner and the invisible and on the spirit. And so that when we join our personality, our bodies, and our souls, when we evolve and connect, it elevates the experience of our lives. As good as life is on the sensory level, it's heightened when it's added to a level of spirituality. And so he writes this. He says, the personality is those parts of the soul that require healing, that the soul has chosen to work on in this lifetime to heal, along with those parts of the soul, such as compassion and love, that the soul has lent to the process of healing in this lifetime. The splintered aspects of the soul require healing. They need to interact with the physical matters so that each part of our splinteredness can become whole and be healed. How many people here, and I wasn't going to go here, but I may as well just jump in. How many people here believe in reincarnation? How many people do not believe in reincarnation? How many people really don't care if there is reincarnation? Okay. One of the things I find that's interesting is that it's saying that we are here to evolve our souls. And sometimes the idea is that it takes more than one lifetime. And the idea is that when the soul is complete with the body and personality, that body and personality will die, but the soul lives on. And then it will reincarnate into a body and into a personality that is perfect for exactly what lessons that we need to learn to heal our soul and know the fullness of our spirit and the fullness of life. And I would say, whether you believe it or not, I would say that triggers an idea that right now in your life, your personality, your body, and everything you are experiencing is exactly what you need to evolve. Nothing is missing. That everything you need to grow and evolve and to know the fullness of your soul and to heal, to know the sense of fullness, is absolutely available to you right now. You're not in the wrong body. You're not in the wrong family. You're not in the wrong place. You're exactly where you need to be. As disappointing as that might be, that is the truth. You got everything you need right now to evolve. And he said that if we want to evolve to that level, to that multi-sensory level, to that authentic power level, to that consciousness level, that we need, and it sounds so simple, to recognize that you have a soul. To recognize that the light and the Spirit of God is in you. And that for you to recognize and value that Spirit, value that essence and aspect, that invisible part of yourself, and have a longing to know it and to experience it and to express it in a fuller and greater way. I have an amazing soul within me. Together, I have an amazing soul within me. I recognize my soul and I value my soul. Together, I recognize my soul and I value my soul. I want to know and express the fullness of my soul. Together, I want to know and express the fullness of my soul. Take a deep breath. And Zukov says that when you recognize, that when you acknowledge, and you value your soul, and then it will begin to express and fill your personality and your body and your life. And then when you make a commitment to serve and support the energy of your soul, you will be transformed and evolved in an amazing and wonderful way. So what are the things that we need to do to evolve our souls, to move to a multi-sensory level and experience of life? And the first thing is we need to understand and work with the law of cause and effect. How many people accept responsibility for their lives? How many people? I think almost all of us accept responsibility for most aspects of our lives. We all, there's some actions we accept responsibility for and some don't. Some things we think affect other people and some don't. Some things affect ourselves and we think some don't. And the thing is, we'll take credit for all the good things, don't we? It's going so good. Yeah, I did that. I'm so very proud. And I did this and I achieved that. But when things don't go so well, isn't it amazing how we come up with excuses? If it wasn't for that dysfunctional family of mine, I would be, oh, it's the traffic. That's why I was late. It was the traffic. It's my ex-spouse. She can be so. The dog ate my homework. Don't we have stuff that we don't want? We want to accept most of the responsibility, but not all of it. And so it's funny. Being fully responsible for our lives scares us at some level. It's like you are responsible. It's almost like you're getting caught doing something wrong. That you're bad, you made your mistakes, there's some blame or shame involved in it. And so many of us don't want to fully own everything that's going on in our lives. We don't want to fully be responsible, for the good, the bad, and the ugly, for all the things. We want to own it, but not quite all of it. But the truth is, we do own all of it, whether we acknowledge it or not. There is a law that's called the law of cause and effect. That every thought, every feeling, every word, has a cause, and it will always bring back a particular effect in our lives. And the truth is, conscious or not, we have participated in the cause of everything that's going on in our lives. And if we participate in the cause, we cannot not participate in the effect. So whatever's going on in our lives right now is the effect of something. Some cause, some idea, some thought. And whether you think it happened in another life, or it happened last week, or a year ago, guess what? It's right where you are, right now. And the law of cause and effect, you can call it the law of karma. You can call it, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. What goes around comes around. What you give, you receive. You can call it what it is, but that's a law. That's how it works. The condition, the experiences of your life, all of them are an effect of whatever cause, conscious or unconscious, that you helped support or create. And so for us, let's say there's a particular effect going on in your life right now. Let's say you're struggling with money, or someone has cheated you or something. The fact is, that is the effect of some cause. And sometimes we respond to that cause by getting angry and frustrated, think it's unfair and it's wrong. But when we get angry and frustrated and think it's wrong, you know what? We're creating another cause, which will send out another effect that'll come back. So the thing is, we need to understand that the law of cause and effect works and always works, and what's going on in your life is a current effect. And what you get to do is to choose how you respond to it. Because the law of cause and effect, it's got to come and move through your life. You've got to fully embrace it till your soul can be healed. The question is, how do you respond? You got to understand it, you got to accept responsibility for it, and you've got to respond to it. And the thing is, we need to respond with understanding, we need to understand with responsibility, and we need to respond by consciously choosing our response. Because our response, guess what, will become a new cause, which will create a new effect. So think of a situation in your life that is not the best effect you'd like to have, and think to yourself, what is the best way I can respond in this situation? Even just holding a space that I will learn from this, I will grow from this, I will get better from this, that I can open my heart to Spirit through this experience, that I can send blessings of love, I can send positive intentions through this experience, to go through it, but to go through it with a positive intention to create new currents of energy that will create new causes in your life. Folks, we can fight against it all we want, but the more we fight against those things and hate them, the more we create causes to create more effects. So in our lives, are you willing to understand the law of cause and effect, accept full responsibility, and consciously respond in the most positive way you can to create even greater effects in your life? Make sense, everyone? Okay. And the second thing about evolving to that higher level is to commit ourselves to heal and to have the courage to feel. You know, nobody likes to feel sadness or pain. No one wants to feel the pain of betrayal or hurt or disappointment or grief. Nobody likes to feel the pain of a broken heart or feeling rejected. Nobody likes to feel any of those things. So many of us choose to not feel them. We shut off our heart. We shut off our feelings. We try to deny and say, no, I'm fine. Everything's fine. And we stuff all of these feelings. And the truth is, what we do when we close ourselves off to our feelings, we close ourselves to a part of ourselves, and we close ourselves to important information that can help us heal and be liberated from the very pain. You know, pain is a good sign that something's wrong, and by investigating and being open to it, we can actually release it and bring light to it that can transform it. When we stuff it, it'll stay and fester and sometimes grow. Here's what Gary Zukav says. He says, he says, pain can also help you correct what your intention behind your actions and thoughts are. And he says, if you had the intention to marry, and that intention causes pain instead of joy, follow the pain. See, we don't want to go there, but he says, follow the pain. He says, if you have an intention to advance in your work, and that intention causes sorrow instead of satisfaction, follow the pain. Because if you follow the pain, you can sometimes find out, or often find out, what the intention or the wrong intention that might have caused that pain is. Let me give you an example. Oprah said that she suffered from the disease to please. Anyone suffer from that disease? And she said she wanted everybody to be happy, so she would say yes to things she wanted to say no to. She would do things she didn't want to do because she wanted everyone to be happy. She wanted to please everyone, thinking that was going to give her fulfillment. That was her intention. The cause of it was a lot of emotional pain, feeling depleted, feeling burned out, feeling she's got to work so hard to make people like her. And then because she followed the pain, it helped her realize, oh, that's not the best intention. So she switched her intention, trying to please people, to being authentic and honoring herself and living her truth. And when she switched that intention, because she felt the pain, it transformed, and she was able to say yes when she felt like it and no when she felt like it, and she lived a much more authentic life. And the people around her actually, loved her and supported her even more. We need to be willing to go in and to feel our pain, because it will teach us and tell us what needs to be healed, And so everybody think of a situation, a pain that you might be going through right now, and allow yourself to feel it. In fact, I've been doing this during my journaling. When I come across something that's painful and I stop right there And I take a deep breath and I just invite the pain in and allow myself. I go into the pain. And it's been amazing, some of the things it's revealed to me about some of my intentions that haven't been the wisest for myself that I need to adjust. Because again, the intention is a cause that creates the effect. And sometimes the pain can help us realize what intentions need to be changed. So when think of a pain you got in your life, and the simplest thing you could do is just to feel that pain and to ask yourself, what is this pain here to teach me? What is this pain here to help me learn? How is this pain here help me to know God in a fuller way? How is this pain here to expand my soul and my awareness? And just by being willing to stay in the pain and ask those questions consciously and intentionally, I guarantee you it'll open you up to levels of awareness and liberate you from so much hurt. But you got to be willing to commit and do the work, because if you're committed to heal, you got to be committed and have the courage to feel. You know, in the book he talks about a guy named Hank, who had this great life and he had this sadness and he wasn't willing to feel it. And there was another guy named Gregory who was manipulative and angry and all kinds of stuff, but he committed himself to heal and to feel it, and his life was changed and transformed. The other guy ended up destroying himself. And so the fact is, every one of us, if we really want our lives to be that great, you got to have the courage to commit yourself to heal and to allow yourself to feel. Make sense again? Beautiful. So the last thing is that in whatever experience we have to grow through or heal through or learn from, that one of the most important things is the attitude with which we handle it. It's the attitude with which we handle it. I already said earlier about when a situation comes, you can get angry or you can respond to it in a different way with understanding and with compassion. Our attitude is a hugely important thing. Anybody seen the Netflix show How the Universe Works? Anybody seen that? Okay, all right, a couple of us. And I was looking at it, and it said something like this, that there are billions and billions of stars, that there are more stars in the sky than there are grains of sand on the entire planet. Is that mind-boggling, or is it just me? And not only did it say that, but it said that of the galaxy that we're in, there are actually 1 billion other galaxies. And it said that as bright as the sun is, and it's millions of miles, and we can feel its heat, that there are stars that are 1 million times larger than the sun. Can you believe that? I don't know about you, but I am like in awe of how incredible this planet is. It is beyond all that I can see. It is beyond all. It is so magnificent and awe-inspiring. When I go to the Grand Canyon and just look down, I am in awe of the power that created such beauty. When I was at Niagara Falls, I'm in awe of the beauty of the power of that water and how amazing that is. I've been up in an ultralight flying over Maui and Hana, and to look down at the beauty of the water and the turquoise color and looking at in the volcanoes, I am in awe of the magnificence of this world. One of the things that he says that will help us evolve is to have an attitude of reverence, which is to honor the magnificence and the sacredness of life, to appreciate how amazing life is, and to realize that every human being has purpose and value, that every single human being adds, to the greatness of this universe and our lives, no matter what our human selves might think. That we are here, to have responsibility for nature and for our animals and to take care. This is a sacred gift to be alive. And having an attitude of reverence, no matter what you're going through, opens our hearts and minds to a deeper level of life and experience. And the truth is that, when he said that we could be angry and have reverence for life or not have reverence for life. You could be poor and have reverence for life or not reverence for life. You can be a Democrat and have reverence for life or not reverence for life. You can be a Republican and have reverence for life or not reverence for life. You can be unemployed and have reverence for life and not reverence for life. You can be employed and have a reverence for life or not have reverence for life. And the point I'm trying to make is having a reverence for life and honoring life is a choice. That every one of us at every moment of our lives can choose to have a level of reverence and have a sacredness for all of life and everything and everyone in it. See, reverence, an attitude of reverence, is what stops us from taking advantage of others and choosing to create a win-win situations. It is reverence that stops us from polluting and instead picking up a piece of litter from our earth. It is reverence, that stops us from feeling self-righteous or superior and know that we are one with all people. It is reverence that stops us from just taking and wants us to give more to life. That is reverence. I'll tell you reverence in a number of ways. Number one, having reverence for people. Even though it's someone that may have hurt you or something, to have reverence knows that the Spirit of God is in everyone, that we are all children of God. And the same individual that you might be having a struggle with, that they're on their soul's journey. They're healing their souls. They're dealing with their own karma and their law of cause and effect. And the best thing you could do, even while you set boundaries, even if you're going through a court case with them, is to have compassion and a reverence for their being and their true essence, regardless of what their behavior is. Another thing is to have reverence for every experience. Every experience in your life is an opportunity for your soul to shine through. Every experience you're going through. Another one is to have reverence for nature. To honor the beauty of this world. And finally, to have reverence for the process. Because you know what? Maturing and growth takes time. And when you have reverence for the process of life, it means that you don't rush or try to force things. You open your heart and you allow it to unfold with patience. Never rushing it, but always acknowledging it. So it's important for us to have reverence. So I invite you, are you willing today and every day to set an intention to experience reverence with everyone that you meet and every experience you have and everything that around you? Because I guarantee you, it will expand your heart in love. It will expand your heart in joy and will expand your heart to see and experience in life in a much higher and more amazing level. So how does life work? Why are we here? What's it all about? How do I experience life more fully? Well, the truth of that is that you need to do these three things. Number one, understand the law of cause and effect always works. You are responsible for all the effects in your life. So the good news is you can create new causes to create even greater effects in your life. But you got to be responsible. You got to understand it, be responsible, and choose consciously how you respond. Secondly, is you got to be committed to heal. And to committed to heal means you got to have the courage to feel, because your feelings will teach you what are the good things that work that you can do more of, and the pain can teach you what you need to heal and liberate so you can create even greater things. And finally, to develop an attitude of reverence for all of life, for yourself, for all people, because it'll open your heart to a fuller and greater experience, and your spirit will shine forth in an amazing way. And that is the first lesson in the Seed of the Soul. God bless you all. All right. Thanks, guys. Let's rise now and join our kids. They'll lead us in the prayer of protection, but let's first sing.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And before the kids lead us in the prayer of protection, just want to say the offices will be closed tomorrow, so happy Memorial Day, and you're going to have a chaplain pray with you after service. Thanks, guys. Okay. Kids?
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is.
God bless you, brother. Good day and a wonderful week, and happy Memorial Day.